I'm Joshua Bardwell, and today I am super excited to show you the Furious FPV True-D v3.0 diversity module for FatShark goggles. When I finished my first round of FatShark diversity module testing, I picked the THAN LaForge as the module I wanted in my goggles on a day-to-day basis. And since then, I've seen many different modules come and go, and none of them have ever made me question that decision. But when I saw the feature set that Furious has put into this module, when I saw the user interface design, I was absolutely blown away. Furious have totally got it right with this one. Let's take a closer look. I think you're going to be really impressed. Now, the first thing I need to tell you is that this kind of ugly plastic case that you see me having here, this is just a pre-production sample that was sent to me. The one you'll get when you order this module is the same nice white plastic that you've seen on previous Furious modules. So don't let that throw you off. I'm going to go ahead and plug in, and the module will power up. And when the module first powers up, the first sort of unexpected thing is that it doesn't turn on immediately. It goes into a standby mode, and you actually have to push a button to wake it up. Now, I don't know why Furious have made that decision. Presumably there's a good reason for it, but it's a little bit unexpected if you're used to just plugging in your goggles and away you go. Immediately, we can start to see some differences here. Number one, we've got these LEDs that show us which antenna we're on. In real time, you can see the diversity algorithm logic. So we can see here that this top bar is indicating that the top antenna is the strongest one. But we can see the signal strength on the bottom one in real time, and we can see how the diversity algorithm, that was a little bit of a coincidence there. Looks like it was following my finger, didn't it? Okay. We can see the diversity algorithm thinking about which antenna to be on. So there's additional information here, and I'm not sure if you can see very clearly, but you can actually see the numerical readout of the algorithm trying to think about how many hits and misses each antenna is having as it goes from one to the other. By the way, before I get any further in, you may notice that there's these three buttons here instead of the clicky scroll wheel. And unlike the buttons on the LaForge where they're kind of depressed and they're small buttons that are a little hard to get your finger in there, these are nice, big, tactile buttons. Very nice push, easy to push, etc. Very, very nice. Oh, got a little diversity switching there. If I press the button to go into the menu, there are several different modes I can use to select the channel that I want to be on. The first one I'm going to show you is the Smart Search, where it scans the whole frequency range and tells you what channels it finds active. Now, I've only got one transmitter active at the moment, but you can see it's picking up quite a lot of them. And the reason for that is it picks up, just like all of the diversity modules do, it's picking up all the channels that are kind of close in to the channel that I'm active on. And it's not helping that the transmitter is so close to me right now, it's sort of bleeding over onto many different channels. That's a normal thing that they all do, and unfortunately Furious haven't cracked that nut yet. So be it. This grid layout is pretty freaking cool. So we've got the bands here, A, B, E, F, C, and the individual channels, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, within there. And I can scroll between them so I can pick which frequency I want to be on. If I want to, I can always rescan to repopulate the Smart Search with whoever is active at the given moment. Now, this feature is similar in a lot of ways to the Spectate feature on the LaForge, but the great thing about this is that when you do the auto search, you immediately see what channels or bands are active, whereas with Spectate, you're just clicking in between them. It's a difference. It's not necessarily an improvement. It is nice to be able to see what all is out there. The next mode that I'm going to show you is manual mode. In manual mode, you step between the frequencies. So here's A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then B, etc. And I can step through all of the frequencies channels in the band. You can see that as I do that, it populates the RSSI for each of them with whatever was seen on the channel the last time I was there. And you might be thinking, well, isn't it annoying that I have to step through all of the bands like that? You don't have to. If I long press the button, you can see it jumps to the next band. One feature that I do wish was present, that I don't think is present, is the ability to step through the frequencies by frequency. So let's say you know that somebody is on, 5865 and you want to get there. Well, where's 5865? I don't know. 5865. I don't know what band that is. I just want to go to 5865. Well, I don't see a way to do that. You would have to use something like Smart Search, or the band scanner. The third mode that's available for selecting channels is the working mode, and this is analogous to the favorites mode in some of the other goggles that are out there. To make working mode work, first we're going to go into manual mode, and I'll just select any frequency that I want to select. So let's select C1. If I hold down the middle button, I get a menu, and it is saved to my working or favorite channel set. And then if I go into working mode, you can see that here are all the channels I've added to my working mode. So I've got C1, 5658, I've got F7, F4, and F1. So you can create whatever custom channel set you prefer and just flip between those and only those channels. To remove one, just long press on it while in working mode, and you can delete it. You might have seen there that when I long pressed, I had the option to save. Well, it's already in the working mode. Why would I want to save it again? And that is how you set what channel and mode the goggles will start up in. So let's say I want the goggles to start up in working mode on channel 5740. I'll save from within the working mode, and it will remember that, and every time I power up, that's where I'll be. So there are the three modes for selecting channels: working mode, auto scan mode, and manual mode. Now let me show you the next feature, which is the band scanner. The band scanner has gotten quite an upgrade. I can't tell if this is just a graphical upgrade or if it actually has better resolution underneath, but it sure looks nice. It actually kind of looks like a proper spectrum analyzer. And LaForge actually has a firmware that does something similar to this, just to be fair, because I know you all are going to point it out in the comments, oh, LaForge does that too. But it's a separate firmware that you have to flash, and when you flash it, you lose many of the other features like favorites and so on. So it's really nice to have this nice high-resolution band scanner. The LaForge scanner has actually got some other features that this one doesn't have, just to be fair. But this is a nice high-resolution, nice graphic showing you the strongest signal and the channel and so on. Very, very nice. Now let's look at the settings, because there are some cool things in the settings. One of the things in the settings is the time up alarm, which can be used to cause the goggles to give an alarm when they have been powered on for a certain amount of time. This will help prevent you from leaving your battery plugged in and you're setting your goggles down, walking away, and running your battery completely dry. You've also got an alarm on low video RSSI. So when the video link starts getting weak, the goggles can alarm at you in case you hadn't noticed that it was starting to break up. You can set that wherever you think you want it. This is super cool. What does new F stand for? New frequency. You can choose an arbitrary frequency all the way down to like 50, 53 something? I don't know. You can choose an arbitrary frequency. You can give it a name, whatever name you want to give it, and you can add it to the channel set that the goggles support. I'm not freaking kidding you. That is so cool. You could just pick a frequency and get to it. Whatever frequency you want. Why would you do that? I don't know, but it's so cool that you can. The last thing we're going to look at is the filter setting. Now, the ability to tweak the aggressiveness of the diversity algorithm is something that has been in some open source firmwares for a while, but I think this is the first time I'm aware of that it's been in a stock firmware of one of these modules, one of these commercial modules. There's three settings: normal, high, and low, and that refers to how aggressively the diversity algorithm will attempt to switch between the antennas. Now, you might wonder, why would you ever want to turn that down? The idea here is that if let's say you're doing long-range flying and you really want the goggles to stay on the patch antenna and just stay there, not really, just when you get closer, maybe get back on the Omni antenna, but mostly you just want them to stay on the patch antenna because you're flying straight out away from yourself and you don't want it to accidentally like roam onto the Omni and lose the signal. Well, there you would set the filter to low. Meanwhile, if you are flying close into yourself, like you're racing, and you're constantly flying into and out of the beam of your patch antenna, you might set the filter aggressiveness to high. That helps keep your signal strength high. And of course, normal is in the middle, which is kind of a mixture of the two. But wait, I haven't even shown you what might be the single best feature of this module. Let's see, it's in there pretty freaking tight, actually. There we go. I haven't even shown you what might be the single best feature of this module, and that is that it has a USB port. Oh my God, you can update the firmware without an FTDI module. Somebody finally put a freaking USB port on one of these. Thank you, Furious. You rock. There it is, folks. It is the Furious FPV True-D Diversity Module V3. And with this one, I think Furious have finally gotten it right. I have been a big fan of Furious because I like what they do with hardware design and I like how they innovate, but I've told them this, I've been completely honest, I've felt that all of their diversity modules were inferior in terms of their feature set and their user interface design compared to, well, the LaForge. The other place that we've seen them be inferior in my testing is in their RF performance. People are telling me that the RF performance of this module is stellar. Now, I haven't tested it for range yet. Oh, I'm gonna, you better believe it. But I have flown it just, around a UTT, a multi-GP course over the weekend, and I think the diversity switching, at least, was very good. I didn't notice hardly any breakups. I'm gonna keep flying it, I'm gonna keep testing it, and you'll hear more about it. But for now, I can tell you that the feature set and user interface that this brings to the table is spectacular. And what about the price? With all these new features, has the price gone up? No. In fact, they are including a right angle and a 45-degree adapter, a $10 value normally. They're including those with it. It comes with it. You don't have to buy that separately. So in fact, it's gotten cheaper. Didn't used to come with that. Now it does. This product will be available in about a week. I've got a link in the video description to the product page. Check back if you're interested in buying it and check it out. Whenever it releases, you will be the first to know. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I am legitimately excited to show you this product. You have no idea how I squealed when I saw what they'd done. UBAD better watch their butt. Knowing UBAD, they got something else around the corner that'll knock your socks off just as much. But for now, UBAD better watch their butt. This thing is a heck of a piece of kit. Happy flying.